startups one day. And it's tremendous, therefore, for our region, for Toowoomba, the second biggest inland city in Australia, as Adam said, to host this regional Pitch Fest final. So I say to all of you, in welcoming you to the beautiful city of Toowoomba, and to those online who are having the opportunity to look at this Queensland Regional Pitch Fest final, our region. So I say to all of you, in welcoming you to the beautiful city of Toowoomba, and to those online who are having the opportunity to look at this Queensland Regional Pitch Fest, our history is in agriculture, our region. So I say to all of you, in welcoming you to the biggest abound, and to those online who are having the opportunity to look at this Queensland, our history is in agriculture, our region. So I say to all of you, in welcoming innovation, that is the biggest abound, and to those on we are in our opportunity to look across this Queensland. So welcome to agriculture, our region. So I say to all of you, in welcoming innovation, that is the biggest abound, and to those on we are in our opportunity to look this Queensland. So welcome to agriculture, our region. So I say to all of you, in welcoming innovation. I wish I welcome our region. All of you to beautiful Toowoomba. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. Well, it is welcome our region. Will be sitting in front of all of you as our judges. Fleur Anderson is a self-confessed small-town addict, never having lived in a town. Thank you very much, John. Well, it is started 4 businesses in the last 10 years from a town of just 500. Please welcome to the stage Fleur Anderson is a self-confessed small-town addict, never having lived in a town. Thank you very much, John. Well, it is started Steve Baxter is a tech startup from a town of 500. Please welcome to the stage Fleur Anderson, joined the army, became a technician in the field of electronics, telecoms, and thank you very much, John. Well, it is started Steve Baxter is a tech startup from a town of 500. Please welcome to the stage Fleur Anderson, joined the army, became a technician in the field of electronics, telecoms, and thank you very much, John. Well, it is started Steve Baxter is a tech startup from a town of 500. Please welcome to the stage Fleur Anderson, joined the army, became a technician in the field of electronics, telecoms, and thank you very much, John. Well, it is started Steve Baxter is a tech startup from a town of 500. Please welcome to the stage Fleur Anderson, joined the army, became a technician in the field of electronics, telecoms, and thank you very much, John. Well, it is started Steve Baxter is a tech startup from a town of 500. Please welcome to the stage Fleur Anderson. We've loved his company. Welcome to the stage. 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 Thank you very much, John.
So where are we at? Well, our program is producing great results, averaging 6 kilos weight loss over a 12-week period. We have an email list of 308. We've conducted 52 dog owner interviews with 40% of our interviewees expressing their interest in producing great results, averaging 6 kilos weight loss over a 12-week period. We have an email list of 308. We've conducted 52 dog owner interviews with 40% of our interviewees expressing their interest in producing great results, averaging 6 kilos weight loss over a 12-week period. We have an email list of 308. We've conducted 52 dog owner interviews with 40% of our interviewees expressing their interest in producing great results, averaging 6 kilos weight loss over a 12-week period. We have an email list of 308. We've conducted 52 dog owner interviews with
G'day, Charlotte. Well done.
Depending on the degree of obesity. I have stayed in touch and just recently been in touch with some of our American customers, and yes, they've gone on and actually reached their target weight, so they've gone beyond the program. The plan is, this is just our MVP, but the plan is it will then roll onto a membership plan, which will be a nominal fee of about $10 per month, where people will retain access to the support network, have stayed in touch, the online and profile area, been in touch with some of our American customers. And yes, they've gone on, even though it may take them a while to reach that target weight, beyond they've reached their target weight. The plan is, this is just our MVP, but the plan is it will then roll onto a membership plan, which will be a nominal fee of about $10 per month, where people will retain access to the support network, have stayed in touch, the online and profile area, been in touch with some of our American customers. Most of the dogs that have joined us have been large, and it may take them a while to reach that target weight beyond their reach. The plan is, this is just our MVP, but the plan is it will then roll onto a membership plan, which will be a nominal fee of about $10 per month, where people will retain access to the support network, have stayed in touch. So we're early days, and profile area, been in touch with some of our American customers. Most of the dogs that
marketing, are you planning to market directly to the consumers of this product, like the dog owners, or via a different channel?
So a combination. We're looking at running concurrent online and offline marketing. Our offline marketing strategy will be a partnership strategy to limit our marketing costs. So at the moment, we're looking at really partnering up with corporate veterinary groups, large pet retail chains. We're really keen to partner with insurance firms, pet insurance firms, to roll that out across Australia. Once we have success and traction with that strategy, we plan to then replicate that in the US, then the UK. Meanwhile, we'll have our online marketing strategy, and that is direct to customer. So that will be through Facebook, social media, and targeted advertising on pet websites such as PetMD and VetStreet, which have articles around obesity, so you're actually getting people going there looking for advice.
Now, Lisa and Fleur, we've only got one question left, so has anyone got one prepared?
Yeah, so
Lisa.
It occurs to me that one of the challenges you're going to have is the stickiness of the customer, and so I do have an overweight dog, but one of the challenges that I have is how do I, there's so many products out there in terms of heartworm, ticks, fleas and so forth, but if I had an app that I could, as part of this access, also track how, in terms of that total health and well-being of my pet, that would, have you thought about how that could contribute?
Having an overall health app?
Yes.
I think that would be a great partnership opportunity because there's a lot of health apps already being developed, so it's not something I'd want to rework the wheel there, but that'd be a great partnership opportunity to bring on board. Yep.
Please give it up for Charlotte Williamson. Well done, Charlotte. Our next finalists, Paul and Charlie Orban. They live an outdoor, adventurous life.
That'd be a great partnership opportunity to bring on board. Yep.
Please give it up for Charlotte Williamson. Well done, Charlotte. Our next finalists, Paul and Charlie Orban. They live an outdoor, adventurous life.
That'd be a great partnership opportunity to bring on board. Yep.
Please give it up for Charlotte Williamson. Well done, Charlotte.
that works very
unit for $279. Winch installation can be the purchase of the winch itself can be from $500 to $2,000 depending on the quality. Really, you need 2 winches on a car if you need to go forward and reverse. Then you've got the installation, extra battery and stuff like that. Traction boards are the market leader. Installation can be the purchase of the winch itself can be from $500 to $2,000 depending on the quality. Really, you need 2 winches on a car.
Great, thank you. Look, great presentation. You're one product, you're not a business. That's tough, right? You've sold 20 a week for the last 2.5 years.
Okay.
Why are you doing it this way?
We're doing it this way.
I think we're ready to go.
The only really option that we have at this point in time, being a family business, we've really had to struggle, and we really wanted to push them out. We want to sell a few thousand of them, get them out in the market and see how people are using them. It's a new technique. So I know how I use them, and I teach these, and I do forward drive and do adventure tourism to see how people are using them, and if they're having trouble, if they're hurting cars, breaking.
If I can look at one thing, you need to look at the history and the progress of every business that is a one-product company. They go away. They're almost impossible. You need to broaden your product range somehow.
Paul actually does have, Steve, some great ideas, and we'd love to talk about them afterwards. If that's
this is painted worldwide, or what is it?
Painted. We've been through the PCT system. We're painting Australia. We've got a patent pending in US.
Maybe I'm actually streaming. I don't really know at this point.
Is it patent pending?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
So from a consumer
I have seen this product before.
Not everyone
I don't know if I've seen Bog Out itself, but I've definitely seen this product before.
Methodologies. How would someone choose to use your product when they're in a retailer? When they're in the retailer, so if that's your main channel to market, how would, if I was standing there with a 4-wheel drive myself, how would I work out which one to use?
Well, you would.
I don't really think the question's terribly valid, because most people, I guess, who are going to go 4-wheel driving and have need for a bog out sort of thing are going to. I mean, they're going to know that, right? Aren't they? I mean, maybe not.
Very unobvious in that sack.
We have point of sale displays that we've developed, and we've continually, liaised with the retailers, and we've changed our point of sale. And so now we have 2 point of sales. One has a working wheel demonstrations about this big, and the other one is, we call it the 6-pack, and it can sit on a shelf. It can be an impulse buy on the counter for them. So we're trying that. We've got little TV screens as well.
Can you talk to your wholesale and your cost of manufacture and wholesale, or is that just secret sauce you don't want to discuss?
we prefer to keep the cost of sales to us privately, but we can definitely talk to you about that. But they fit
so
within
the wholesale's about $80 and you probably make about 40. Is that about right? Or
if they wholesale for in that sort of ballpark.
Is the minimum order quantity, like what are you, the retailers are needing to purchase?
Retailers can buy just a 6-pack from there on. We're trying to encourage them, and so we want to give them the best opportunity.
Your manufacturer minimum order quantity. So you have to make these in 1,000s, 2,000s, 100.
No, we have them made. We make these in cans. So
do you really?
Yeah. So these are handmade.
Well, they probably cost $100 to make, do they?
Quality products.
That's awesome, but
no, we've got a good way of making. We can keep the price right down on them, but we make them. We get them made at a local jail. So it's part of the rehabilitation.
That's Mareeba Jail, is it?
The latest strand.
Oh, good. So apparently I can talk.
I've got to ask him, what does it cost to make? That's really important.
Oh, come on. He's not going to tell you what it costs to make.
I look at his business all the time. We have such a high cost base. We do it to ourselves. So I'm really keen to understand.
Is he going to tell you in public?
So is it 40-odd bucks? Am I in the right territory?
No, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, there you go. Just don't... In a public place, man. All of his distributors will say it's costing you $10 to make these, then, you know, we want to buy them for 20.
We're within that, so we allow a room for discount as well. And so it's quite a good product for
So now you've got to ask yourself, well, you're doing a great job, so please don't take this as criticism or this is just a conversation. I'm just a bit brash most of the time. So will you actually will you actually will you sell 100,000 of them, or if you keep it at 159, will you sell 10,000 of them? That's actually.
I think I've seen this. You see, I think I've seen this product in America. It's from a video in America. It's really great. Basically, what happens is the rope thing wraps around the wheel and tightens up, and you yank on whatever the rope thing is attached to. So you either pull the tree out of the ground or you pull your car out of the bog. It's a good idea, but yeah.
Right, but at the end of the day, you're in business. You've got to be successful for yourself and your family.
We just
so I encourage you to look at that. I really do.
We did that, Steve. In
I sure hope this works well because it's a good idea. It is a good idea.
And Paul brought the price right down.
At the end of the day, you're in business. You've got to be successful for yourself and your family.
We just
so I encourage you to look at that. I really do.
We did that, Steve. In
I sure hope this works well because it's a good idea. It is.
Customer, how do you provide?
Oh my goodness! It works. It works.
Some of the other competitor products.
Oh, well, that's kind of exciting that I'm actually streaming with sound. Oh, gee. Like,
absolutely, it's a new technique. So
I feel like
the reason that we've done 31
god, you know?
expos is our original business model said go and tell 1 million people, put them in front of 1 million people, and that's what we've done. So the gate, not everyone comes through the gate to see me, but they all hear me, and so we stand on the side of the road with our display, and we display personally. Our marquee's always got a group of 20, 30, 40 people around it. We're busy, popular, everyone wants to know about.
Now, Paul and Charlie, did your video work when you were...
It did,
It did work?
Yes.
Great. You can watch it all again out at Startup Alley. That's all the time we've got for the Q&A, though. So please give it up for Charlie and Paul Orban. Well done, guys. We'll see you in a moment.
So two businesses that have sales, right? My bets would be on both of them
My goodness, I don't know if anyone else has noticed
I don't know what's coming up next, but basically it's been the theme so far. The companies that actually have sales.
Apparently made in New Zealand.
Yes, made in New Zealand.
What is going on there? Ben Wales pointed that out. It comes from an article in the Guardian as well, so that must be true. Our next person is David Crane. He's the CEO and co-founder of SiteC. David is a wireless telecommunications sector domain expert, which is a mouthful. He's got 8 years mobile network design in Australia and North America, and he's also worked with some of the largest telcos that we all know, like Telstra, Ericsson, and Vision Stream. He has qualifications including a BE in electronics, a BIT in computer science, and now, because that wasn't enough, he is completing an MBA. Please welcome to the stage SiteC's David Crane.
SiteC. Well, look, if they're selling things to people, I don't know who's going to win. But so far I would bet on, I guess, the vet thing. Last time I went to the vet, they told me my cats were fat.
How painful family road trips were before Google Maps was invented.
Yeah, not very.
The concept of
digitizing
the world and its roads must have seemed so futuristic back then.
It did.
Good evening, everybody. I'm David Crane, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of SiteC. Now, in the last 10 years, services like Google Maps have not only reduced family road trips.
See, I grew up in England, and in England there's CB roads and fantastic maps everywhere. Never get lost.
But despite this digital revolution, the mobile services industry still relies on manual and paper-based processes for capturing their asset information and managing this critical infrastructure.
It's not strictly true, I guess.
SiteC digitizes cellular infrastructure and provides direct and immediate access to this digitized information. We allow the telcos and the tower companies the ability to view, interact, and analyze their towers and make informed decisions without remote and costly site visits and dangerous tower climbs. But like Google Maps, our true value lies in the additional value that we've built on top of this 3D data. Object recognition automatically identifies and catalogues all the antennas on the tower. Computer vision detects and catalogues all the corrosion on the structure. And we're able to do in situ 3D simulations. And in this case, it's a radiation hazard simulation showing the safety zone around this tower.
Looks like it was...
Now with 4 million towers around the world,
I don't know. That kind of looks like it was
and
built
multiple
in paint,
telco tenants on each structure, it equates to a $70 billion a year services industry. Now, our route to this market is to target the tower owner via direct and indirect sales channels. Our business model is enterprise SaaS, and we'll charge an annual subscription per tower to view and interact with these models, and then upsell our value-added services. Our traction to date includes 2 contracts with two of Australia's national service providers, servicing telcos and the marine services industry. In addition to these, we're in 4 giant enterprise pilots with telcos and tower owners here in Australia and in North America.
My next question is what looks best for AusPost?
Over 100,000.
So they have a company that fixes people, fixes animals. They have a company that fixes, I guess, problems that people are in cars.
And the capability of taking sites.
And these guys.
For the last 10 years, it's been my job to design and build radio networks for the largest telcos here in Australia.
Because it sounds like they're pretty successful already.
And together with Lucio Piccoli,
and they've already got kind of themselves together.
20 years in enterprise level.
The other 2 companies here are obviously regional, right? They're really closely tied to something regional.
10 years of high growth and business development skills. Together with the rest of the team, we're ready to take SiteC to the globe. So with a full pipeline of opportunity, market validation, SiteC is raising capital to pursue this $70 billion a year industry. If you'd like to be part of this journey or know more, please
Euro
come
was
speak to
441 billion, and that was actually a low estimate, because the APCA estimates total payment industry in Australia at 1.69
trillion. As well. I almost didn't have enough time to tweet anything there. Well done, David. It's over now to the judges. Any questions, please?
This is going to be a difficult one to call, I think.
Question. First comment is around the team makeup. Great to see you've got an experienced team, but a lot of investors will look for gender diversity amongst your team. It's an issue. Gender diverse teams get better results.
Yep.
The second thing is around your commercial contracts. You spoke to them and also the SaaS model, but you didn't set a price point. Could you talk to the commercial contracts and also the SaaS price points and what the ability to upsell is?
Yes. So we have a volume-based pricing, so depending on the number of structures, and also pre-commitment for volume-based pre-commitments. So that applies to both the single tower and the additional upsells.
And what's the SaaS cost? I mean, if you, for example, for a typical customer in Australia, how much they're likely to pay? Is there a typical customer? Can you give us some sort of insight into that?
I'm not going to anchor you with a price for like a single tower, because if you're a telco or a tower owner, it's all volume-based.
Yep.
But we're at about 20% of an existing comparative tower climb, which we're competing against.
Okay. I'll just conflict myself out. I'm actually invested in SiteC, so I'll take no further progress.
I'll just follow on from that question. For someone myself that's unfamiliar with your industry, can you just explain to me how is that?
I think that rules them out from first place.
You mentioned about climbers. Are people physically going and testing for rust and maintenance now?
Yeah. So the problem stemmed from having out-of-date records. Anyone on that tower who wants to make a change needs the up-to-date records. Otherwise, they get to site and something in the way or something unexpected.
There's lots of programs that do that kind of asset management already.
You have to climb the tower. So that it costs 2 to 4 to 6 guys the time to travel to site, climb the site, do all the assessment, and the way they actually do the assessments is they strap a compass to the antenna and they measure its direction. Now, the very nature of the thing that they're strapping it to interferes with the thing that they're using to measure it. So on top of that, the guys that are doing the audits are actually the guys that are doing the work. So oftentimes the towers are being self-audited. So at the end of the day, anyone on that structure is left with information that's not always accurate.
So how does this little scanning thing work to actually tell you about rust and that kind of stuff?
About this industry. Tell me a little bit around who are you competing with when you're tendering for some work or working on a project?
We're tendering with the status quo, so the guys that climb the towers. We're tendering against drone providers who just provide nice models. So we're really trying to differentiate ourselves with the intelligence and the analytics we've built on top of that data.
See, that seems a bit more reasonable.
There's no one else doing an alternative to the traditional manual process now.
There are players coming up in the market using computer vision to, try and understand.
Fundamentally, though, you have to get something over there, right, to have a look at the tower.
Digital replica of these towers with the intelligence built over the top. So
I mean, if you're doing an audit of what the tower is like, you probably have to go see it, regardless,
what the tower is now,
surely, or have
its
a
equipment,
camera,
and then
or
offer a
some sort
longitudinal
of
study
thing.
on top of that, where other providers can't compete with that.
So David, as you know, one of the biggest challenges with asset management is getting the data back into the enterprise asset management system, and so a lot of these tower operators would have EAM systems in place. Yep. How do you integrate between the Site-C solution back into these EAM solutions so that there's a holistic view of the asset's performance?
That's one of the key things we're looking at as an API, so that they can align their design records, their billing records, their structural records, and their compliance records. And so making sure that their database is aligned with reality, because currently there's no guarantee that they do.
While these companies come from a regional area, it doesn't feel regional, right?
You mentioned
it feels like a big company that acts everywhere, and I think because of that, they're probably not going to win either of the awards.
About 1.5.
Okay. And have you got any commitments yet?
Our customers want to invest in us at the moment, but I haven't actually gone to the market to ask.
Any other questions from the panel of judges for David?
So in terms of when you're selling your service, so there's obviously the technology and the data, which is very rich.
Yep.
What are some of the other elements? Like I'm thinking things like safety would obviously be a huge consideration for someone. What else? What are the other elements that people are buying?
So that hazard zone that we simulated there, it's not publicly accessible.
Simulations only get
you
so far.
So personnel that go to site need to ensure that they're not going into these yellow radiation hazard zones. So that is one of the key things that was the catalyst for this whole thing, because rooftop sites in complex urban environments, that goes out into the public areas, and you need to ensure that you're capturing all those objects in the surrounding environment, making sure that you don't have a hazard change, a skyscraper go up. So that hazard simulation is one of the key things we're looking at. There are a lot of things we can do with the data once we've got it captured, and so the modular data-centric approach really gives us, a lot of value we can start building on top of once we get our customers asking for those additional things.
Anything else? Well, David, well done for your pitch, mate. Put your hands together to David Crane. All the best. Well, I can announce a couple of exciting things that are going on right now. Locally, on Twitter, we are currently trending between...
So, basically, I reckon with that last pitch, it's not gonna get there, because I mean it's not gonna win this competition. You know, in the final, it's going to be Australia Regional Pitch Fest. The companies have to be regional to fit that mold, right? And that company doesn't quite. It's also got a lot of employees, and I think Australia Post is going to want to represent companies that are about to get going, rather than companies that look like they pretty much already are. And he didn't sell exactly for me, and maybe I wasn't paying enough attention, I don't know. But anyway, he didn't really sell for me enough of the, what is he going to use with the money? What is Regional Pitch Fest going to do for him? I mean, but maybe that's not the point. Maybe I'm missing the point here, but that's my guess.
My name is Fiona McFarlane and I'm the founder of Cherry Gift. Now I get asked on a daily basis, why did I decide to call my business Cherry Gift? Well, clearly Apple was taken. So we decided that we wanted to be the premier fruit. And there's nothing better than being the cherry on top.
I'm glad she stuck to that joke, because it was going to fall flat, I think, but she pulled it off.
Now, have you ever forgotten a birthday, an anniversary, Mother's Day, Father's Day,
this makes me think of
any special occasion, and you needed to get a gift instantly to that person? Well, luckily for you, that's the exact thing that happened to me. And if Google can't help you, you know that you're in trouble. Now, let me introduce you to Cherry Gift. So Cherry Gift is a web-based platform that you can access from any device, anywhere in the world. Now, we have businesses that are registered with us, and customers can go online, buy a gift voucher for a monetary amount, and then send it via text message. So it can be done instantly, or it can be scheduled up to 12 months in advance.
But this is a business people understand,
our vouchers can either be sold as a particular voucher, say a restaurant accommodation, or they can actually buy a Cherry Gift. Now that Cherry Gift can be redeemed with any one of our suppliers. Our vouchers are valid for 12 months, and we even send a 6-monthly text message reminder if that voucher has not yet been redeemed.
The voucher thing has been around for a little while, right? This is a nice idea, I like it. But
now let's talk
really
about
it's like
the
a
business
department
side.
store
So we
where
actually
they've
have
got
a
gift card
double-sided
to it,
revenue
right?
stream. Now with our suppliers, there are currently 2.17 million businesses in Australia.
Oh, gee,
now of those, we're targeting
big.
accommodation, recreation, food and retail.
What
and
makes
we're
them different
targeting
from the,
5% of those over the next 2 years.
Well, it doesn't matter.
And our customers,
I
well, there's
mean, those, gift book
24.47
things,
million people in Australia.
I mean, from the customer point
And
of
of
view.
those, we're targeting the age groups between 15 and 64. Now, 87% of those own a smartphone, and 50% of those actually shop online. So we're targeting
What do those extra rings
5%
mean
of
in the
those.
diagram?
Now, if every one of those purchases a $50 Cherry Gift once per year, you can see our revenue figures there.
Okay, so these are theoretical.
And now our competitors, we do have them. So what makes our customers cherry pick us from the others? We are a website-based platform, and we do have our app currently in development. So we don't send our vouchers via email, where they can get lost in spam folders. We don't send plastic cards. Did you know that 25 million single-use plastic cards are being thrown out in Australia every single year? Now that is killing our Great Barrier Reef and killing our environment.
Right.
So we decided to go SMS.
Some people criticised Europe because we didn't talk to the environmental effects or social effects
so there's
of
the
our
excitement
product.
of still receiving
and
that
that's
voucher.
True.
Digitally
and we
on
could
their
have.
phone.
There are some interesting things that could be said there, but we didn't think that they were really related
is we don't
to the
target
business
just large
itself.
chain businesses. We don't target
I
just the
stand by
experience.
that because
We
it's
can
a
target
secondary
all,
effect.
any size business,
And I agree
from
that this
your
is a
bricks
bit
and
closer to
mortar
the business
to your
because they've chosen not to get rid of
retails,
the cards.
right
but,
up to your chains.
I mean, they've chosen
so
to get rid
we
of the
aim
cards.
to be the one-stop shop gift emporium.
Yeah.
And how do we make our money? So our suppliers have an annual sign-up fee of $240.
So basically, this is
we
like
also take a
company
9%
market stuff
commission,
for you.
which will be locked in. And we have a transaction fee for the customer of $3.50. Now, this is whether you purchase a $50 voucher or a $500 voucher.
Yeah. you know, when you're buying something on a credit card, $3.50 fee would be somewhere in the region of $300 and
so I have a background in tourism,
gift card.
Marketing,
Who buys
and
a gift card for $5?
Sandeep has been with us for over 9 months now, and he has over 7 years' experience in web and app development. And Carol is our business advisor, who has been in marketing for over 30 years. Now, we are starting to grow our sales agents all around Australia, which will help us grow our suppliers. We currently have 2 in Townsville, 1 in Perth, and just recruited another one in Darwin. And so where have we come from? The idea was formed in February 2015, completely out of guilt. In May 2016, after 15 long months, we launched online. And in November that year, we were the proud winner of the People's Choice Award at the Tropical North Queensland Innovation Awards. We reached our 100th user in December, and in March we signed up our 100th supplier. To date, we've sold 98 cherry gifts. Next year, we're aiming to launch into New Zealand, and our 5-year goal is to go global.
You go faster than that, faster than that.
So where are we looking for? What are we looking for? We're looking for investment and mentorship. Recently, we've had the opportunity to pitch to our local angel investors, where we're currently in discussions with them. To spend that money, we're looking at bringing on more staff, sales and marketing, and bettering our product, so product development. We're also looking for mentorship, looking for advice, and looking for networking opportunities.
I think it's a tough sell.
So if you're interested in joining the Cherry Gift family, please give us a call, contact me on the details. And for the rest of you, it's time to pop your cherry and sign up with us today.
Ooh, not sure I'm a fan of that, but anyway.
Well done, Fiona McFarlane. I think you're selling yourself short. You've got potential customers of every single male on the planet to sell this to. Over to you, judges.
I'm going to pick up on Adam's comment. I think, instead of going 15 to 64, focus on males who are forgetful, especially guilty sons, and I'm one of them. I feel like you could do very, very well there. You spoke that you after some mentors and some money. Have you given any thought yet to the types of mentors that you'd be keen to
It doesn't appeal to me,
and what kind of skills they might have and where they might be located? And also in terms of money, how much money do you need to get this to the next step?
So we have pitched to our angels recently. We did pitch for $300,000. And we're looking at 50% equity and 50% loan.
And a $9, which is $9.
So, and in regards to our mentors, people in the retail industry are one of our focuses because they've got the contacts in retails. And I'm also involved in a tourism organisation called Skoll, and we have over 14,000 members worldwide. So I've got some fantastic connections in tourism, in accommodation and tours and so forth as well.
So it's basically
more into
a
retail
service.
because that's not where I have my...
So it's basically a service that allows you to, has a restricted range of things to sell. I don't understand how it's better than Google. I don't really understand how it's going to capture a lot of people, because it's they have a restricted range. It costs everybody more money. It costs the suppliers more money. It costs the customers more money. What the customer gets is a gift card, right? That they can give to people, and then they can go onto the website and they see a restricted range of items they can buy from things that this company supplies. That doesn't seem like a win for anybody. It seems like what's really there is some reminder service and something about forgetting stuff. But it doesn't seem like a win, because I can set up a notification on my phone, right, to remind me to buy gifts for people. I can send people cash quite easily. Now, there's something I'm missing here. There's something I'm missing, I'm sure.
They think they need to go in low.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to then move your price up or to actually get the traction that you need. So I think that you should look at that. If that's what your competitors are doing, you should look at where you want to be, how you want to be perceived, where you want to be positioned. Even if you've got to work a little harder to get them on, you don't want them coming to you because it's cheap.
Yeah.
They need to see the value in your product.
Thanks very much.
Thinking through your market, you had some stats there around if I get 5% of the market.
Bug out people because it was kind of like a bit of
that with
a down
another
vibe on that.
marketplace or a competitor?
I'm not sure if I can put a finger on it.
realistic is that just a good number?
We were trying to be conservative and look at a 5% margin on those areas, yeah.
Yeah, so you think it's realistic to get 5% of consumers onto the marketplace?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I think it's a realistic figure, yes.
I also think it's an exceptionally poor way to pitch it, and I think a lot of startups fall into that. They sort of say, look, it's $1 trillion market and all we need is 5%. Investors always glaze over when they hear that. So identify the size of the market. Please don't just assume if we get 1% that's going to work, because that's actually a huge red flag to the maturity of a startup going into a market. And I know you're better than that. The other thing is, you mentioned 6 months is going to send them a message in 6 months.
Definitely.
You're familiar with the term of breakage in the voucher game?
Yes.
So a lot of these businesses want these vouchers to break. The good ones don't. A lot do. So have you come across breakage issues? And could you explain that to the audience?
So the vouchers are actually purchased through us. So they actually buy the voucher through Cherry Gift. So what we're aiming to do is we don't want breakages, because we want our suppliers to actually stay with us. So what we do is we send the initial text message that they receive, and then we also send that reminder, that 6-monthly reminder. But unfortunately, there are breakages, and that revenue will actually come to us.
Oh, you get the breakage, do you?
Yes.
Oh, don't send the message then.
Too nice, Fiona, too nice.
Fleur, you've got experience in online and app market. Have you got a question here?
Yeah, look, it was interesting when you were talking about your market and, you know, the guilty son's one, the forgetful husband's another. I know, I'm just guessing. I've got a PA to get the presents for you, right, don't you? Yeah. Well, and I think the other thing is too, you know, even I'm imagining the customer experience here, and I'd love to hear a little bit more about that, about what my customer experience in your pitch. I'd love to be able to log in all of my special people's details and get a text message, a month out of their birthday to remind me to go and jump on and buy Auntie Faye her voucher. That would be handy too.
Yeah, so at the moment we can actually schedule them up to 12 months in advance. When we have
I don't understand what's the value
plan is that you can actually lock in a date. So you can say it's Auntie Flo's birthday, and I want to lock it in for every year, and that'll come straight out of your PayPal account, and it'll be scheduled so that you.
Well, I guess it's better than other gift cards.
And as the receiver, as Auntie Flo's getting the gift, I receive a text message on my phone. Is that how that works? And then I go to redeem it at Cherry Gift. Is that right?
No, so you actually take your phone into, say, the restaurant. So if you're going to actually use it in a restaurant, you take your phone in, you show your phone to the waitress. Right. She will put a PIN code into the phone, and then your voucher's redeemed.
Fantastic.
Another brilliant business idea that we've had here at the Queensland Final. Please give it up for Cherry Gift.
Good job. But I don't see it.
I'm just trying to find all the things that are trending over us at the moment. John McEnroe says that Serena Williams would be number 700 if she was competing on the men's circuit. Them fighting words. We really need to bring up some of this Brisbane, New Zealand, Toowoomba sort of stuff to get controversial on Twitter again. Our last finalist in Queensland competing here in Toowoomba is Anne-Marie Walton. Anne-Marie is the founder of Want2 and brings a wealth of experience to this exciting venture. Her background is in national level human resource management roles as well as project management, and recently discovered the benefits of lean and agile business methods. A self-described non-tech mum over 50, Anne-Marie is passionate about female entrepreneurism. Please welcome Want2's Anne-Marie Walton.
This is Ben. Ben loves his iPad because he can watch shows and play fun games. But little Ben hates his mum's phone. She's always on it and distracted when he wants to talk to her or do things together. Sarah has put in a full day at work. Soon she'll head home and she'll supervise homework while she's cooking. Sarah's feeling down that she hasn't spent much time with the kids this week, but she does have 30 minutes spare between dinner and a P&C meeting. And Dan. Dan's looking forward to his Saturday Access visit with his kids. But it's going to be raining and there's only so many movies you can watch 6 times. So Dan's trying to find some fun things he can do with his kids in the precious time that they have together. 80% of parents want
not Cherry Gift, it's Want2.
kids.
Not cherry gift, it's want to.
And I want to build strong and resilient families worldwide through fun, shared experiences. So we created an easy 4-step tool using the technology that adults and kids already use every day. Parents choose inside or outside, whether they've got 15 or 30 minutes, and then they select across 3 learning-inspired activities that they, the parents, are going to be happy to do and have fun doing themselves. The app hides those in a bunch of balloons, and the kids think they are choosing their surprise activity. It gives them a sense of choice and ownership. Take the time together, look through the steps and the instructions, then take the phone and put it aside and have some uninterrupted fun together. There is a massive and growing audience of families worldwide with kids 2 to 8 years old, and we're going to help this emerging screen generation with an Australian launch in November. Then we'll hit the United States in January and then the UK in March. At the moment, what parents tend to do is they ask Google or friends when they want help with ideas for different things to do with their kids. And whilst billions of dollars are spent on education and gaming apps for kids to use on screen, idea sourcing apps for face-to-face engagement are in the very early stages. Wantu is one of 3 in this emerging market worldwide.
There's more, I'm sure there's more.
And we're ahead because we're about instant fun. It's about parents being able to choose what they like and also giving kids access to a diverse range of multi-sensory activities that they can do off-screen, and everyone gets to have some fun in the process. We want to make a difference by keeping the app free, getting it in the hands of as many parents as possible across the globe. And that also means access for disadvantaged children everywhere. We're looking at a business model which includes 3 stage revenue streams. Premium content via in-app purchases, affiliate advertising, and a longer and biggest target, which is licensing to corporates who have our end users as their customers.
I think that's much better, because if you do it that way, the corporate's paying.
What's in it
kids
for these companies, for these corporates?
And parents can access
they're going to get
app
access to aggregated parenting behaviour.
I think that's
also,
better.
they're giving extra value to their customers, and they're meeting some social responsibilities.
Great, updated the logo. Good job.
I'm a sole founder, as you heard, with a background in human resources and project management. However, I've lived through this parenting problem, and I'm most proud of being a mum. Nathan is a Griffith graduate and also one of my sons. And we have a fantastic group of supportive mentors, suppliers and partners who are helping us along the way.
Forced to cut it all off.
We've gone through a long trip in this last year and a half since we began. 2 self-built prototypes, which was a challenge for me, a number of focus groups and a closed beta. And I'm pleased to say that as of about an hour ago, our downloads are sitting at 1,041. We're getting some great engagement from the people who are out there using our app. They're uploading photos and letting us know that they're having fun together. And we're getting some good feedback on improvements we can make on our MVP as we move through to our full build, which we'll be doing soon, because whilst we've been self-funded to date, I'm really excited because we've just secured seed investment ready to take us to the next stage.
Who from? Well, good job.
And you can help. Please tell your friends about kidswantu.com. They can go there, they can get the app for free. We've got 1,000 users now. Maybe we can have 2,000 next year or next week, and then the next month 5,000. So please tell everyone and share the news. And then the other thing we want is getting us in front of corporates, people who want, organisations who want to add value to their customers. And then that way, collectively, we can build a tribe of Wantu kids and families worldwide. Thank you.
So I think this is a better idea than
Anne-Marie Walton, right on the dinger.
A supermarket.
We're going to hand it over now to the judges for some
Q&A. This is a little bit better.
How does it work? So you pick an activity and then you put the phone down. Is that what it is?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like you throw a dice and sort of say if it lands on 10, we'll do pillow forts.
That's exactly right. Could be a blanket fort. So what happens is when you know you've got some time coming up, 15 minutes. you'll go into the app. Once you've done your original setup, it'll say, okay, I know you've got Dan and Sarah. You know, it knows that Dan's 4 and Sarah's 6. So you'll say, I want to do something with Dan and Sarah. I've got 15 minutes and I want it to be
good
inside.
with that, but then you put the phone down. So what if it's something, I don't know how to do that. I'm going to Google it to find out how to do it.
Well, you don't need to because all the steps are on the phone.
So you don't put your phone down then, but you read it, see how to do it, then put your phone down and play with the kids?
Yeah, that's right. So what happens is once they hit that balloon, oh, wow, we're making paper snowflakes. So you have a look, both of you, on the phone, because the kids have actually interacted and pressed that balloon, so they've picked the activity. And then here's the steps. So you take the paper, you need to fold it, and you need to cut this way.
I think it's a good idea.
Together with kids, using the technology.
There's probably other
and then
sites,
you put the phone down, and then you follow those steps. If you need to come back to the phone every now and then, you do.
But I think it's a good idea.
But most of the activities are common sense, good fun, things that have been around for 50, 100 years, that people just don't necessarily remember how to do them, or they've just forgotten that they're there.
I think one of your opening sentences was building strong and resilient families, and that's a really noble cause, so well done on this so far. I'm really interested in you said you've got over 1,000 downloads now, but I'm really interested in your user engagement. So how many of those people are coming back? How often are they coming back? How many times a week are they engaging with the app?
That's been a really good lesson for me to learn as I've come into this startup ecosystem, because in trying to follow the lean methods that got discussed before, when I scaled back my full functioning spec to MVP, I lost the capacity to draw data from the back end. So I don't know, to be honest, I can't tell you. However, I do know that the people that we're talking to, that we're engaging through email and through Facebook, are having a good time, and what we're doing is we're reaching out to them. And as we move into this next stage, it's going to be a very big focus of engaging with those people and helping them, or getting them to help us make sure that the product that we're building ticks all the boxes and that we're doing things right. We've already been getting some good feedback from people who are using it via email, Facebook, and even contacting me personally to say, look, this is great, but you need a Facebook log on. Yeah, this is good, but we don't need to choose from 5 activities, just give us 3. If we don't want one of them, then we'll go to the next. So we're actually collecting all of that data as we speak, but unfortunately I can't get that from the back end at the moment.
Sure. That's it's really good to get qualitative data from your customers and keep doing that, absolutely, but at some point you will need to build that in, because if you do want to, you know, the being able to measure the data and actually see exactly what is what behaviour is being used on the phone will help you drive future decision making.
Yeah, as I said, that was a very good lesson to learn. I've learned a few lessons as we've gone. Lots of change, lots of pivots.
Anne-Marie, can you?
I liked Anne-Marie very much.
Tell me a little bit more about the
business
model of it. So a lot of it is via advertising.
Smiley, everything was great.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how that's going to make money? I understand the concept and I can see value in that.
But I don't think she'll win, because even though she has
with regards to making money is to link with these corporations and to license it to them, and then have them provide access to the full product. So whilst it's going to be free,
that being said, she's got children.
There's a lot in there that's free, but there'll also
Australia
be
Post
really
will be keen on having that kind of thing represented
at the final. We're going to be building gamification into there too.
But I still think
levels of audience that people can work to and build community that way.
I mean, maybe they want some big tech thing
want to get to
there.
those corporations,
maybe they will choose the sightseer thing.
What I want to do is build traction. So I want to be able to go to,
because I mean they already have an existing business. They've already got a couple of people employed. Maybe they want to show the regional world is high tech. Because at the moment they have 2 companies that sell
all
things.
This data. They're your customers.
Rather than
we can put all this extra stuff
in,
and then you can give that to your customers because they're special, and you can help them make the world a better place. In the meantime, what we'll do, when I talked about that 3-stage approach, is we'll do some testing. So looking at premium content, so it might be, you know, a Mother's Day kit, or, you know, an Easter pack, so people can buy those as an add-on.
Before that, how do you get these volumes of people into your universe? You've created a solution for a problem that may not exist. Let's not judge that. Let's just understand how you're going to drive tribes of people in, so you have that 25,000.
What I'm looking at using is influencer marketing. At the moment, parenting bloggers and Facebook is where my audience sits.
Yeah,
and
agreed. I think that's fair enough.
If you look at the Kardashians, for example, you've got all the young people who will follow the Kardashians. when it comes down to my users, and I know my users very, very well, they have their favourite parenting bloggers, their favourite websites, their favourite Facebook groups, and they engage with them, and it gives them a community outside of the school. That's where we're going to be going. And that's actually what we've done to pick up these users since, on that slide, to the end of May, I think I had 600 downloads, and now we've picked up another 400. And that's through engaging with parenting
How many people are using the app?
And we've said, look, can you give this a try?
You must be able to get
and
that
let us
data
know what
out.
you think.
I mean,
they've given it a go, and they've had a really good time, and they've taken some photos, and they've posted and said, hey, look at this, we had fun together. And because of that, we're picking up all these downloads.
Yeah, so that's virality. That's not influencers. That's actually virality. So if you can build that in and actually get parents promoting it, that's different to influencers. And that's finding people, getting your traffic into this app will be the biggest trouble you've got. And it's not corporations. It truly isn't corporations.
Lisa, you're about to ask a question.
Yeah, so I'm wondering you mentioned there's a couple of other competitors in this space, but what is it exactly that's unique about your app that means that others aren't able to replicate it?
Very much the fact that about the customisation, but that it's instant. So our biggest and our main competitor at the moment, they're called Quali. They are a startup that have come out of Tel Aviv in Israel. They came through a mass challenge accelerator, and they've got seed funding. They started originally being called ODaddy, and what they've done is they're monetising by driving purchases to Amazon. So when you get a pop-up and say, hey, do you want to read this book with Kyle? You click yes, and it takes you to Amazon, and you can earn some points by buying the book, but then you have to wait 2 days for the book to arrive. They do have some or a number of activities which are instant, like ours. You can just do using around the home, inside and outside.
So I think
but
this
often
would
what
be
happens, some of them are
better
organic,
as a charity,
but others just take you to a blog. A parenting blog where you have to go through those different steps and follow it just like you would on Google on a website.
There'll be plenty of time to check out the app in Startup Alley. How about you give one more round of applause for our final finalist tonight, Anne-Marie Walton. Well done, Anne-Marie. Thanks for joining us.
So,
MC's job is to keep everything on time, and if you look at your program, we're early, so I think you should get paid extra for that, just quietly. Now, in your packs, you may remember that there is a little card that looks like this. This is your vote card. Have you been thinking about the Community Choice Awards? Because the power is in your hands, people. And there it is there. Just make sure that you vote from 1 to 5 in the order that you have seen the pictures tonight, who you think is the best. $1,500 goes towards that person, so it's very important. There they are if you need a reminder on which number is which person who's pitching. I also will point out that there are two Australia Post bins that you can put these in. One is at the exit there, and the other one is at the exit stage.
And I figure Australia Post must be
that's how we
making
do
some
that.
money off this.
Again,
So
please do not forget that hashtag is
there are 3 companies that
8B
have
Regional Pitch Fest. We need to get up there because another thing that's beating us on the trending stakes is Malcolm Turnbull getting on a tram. I don't know why that is trending, but it is. So
there's 3 companies that are making money, right? There's Pet Diets, there's Bogout, and there's these guys that are inspecting towers. So let's just think from a marketing point of view. Australia Post is going to push the final strongly. They're going to want whatever products are there to be things that are relatable, things that are interesting, and things that are kind of have some nice kind of aspect to it that the community might be interested in, right? So I guess safety for the for Site C, the Pet Diets seems pretty obvious, and I haven't seen this before. Hold on, let's go see what he's doing.
Our national tour. I'm going to squeeze in here next to our first judge, Fleur Anderson. You have never been living in a population that's got more than 10,000 people, and you've started 4 businesses in the last 10 years in a population of only 500. What are you looking for tonight as a judge from these startups?
Well, I'm really excited that they're regional businesses, and I guess I'm really interested about...
Yeah, so anyway, so safety for Sightseer, everybody loves their pets, for the Pet Doctor and Bogout. The other 2 aren't currently earning money, they don't have revenue. I didn't particularly like Cherry Gift, but you know, maybe there's something I'm missing there. One2 I think is great, but I think they're going to struggle to make money of it unless they can get corporations advertising themselves. But it's kind of a vicious circle, right? So if you buy the app and you know that a whole pile of stuff has been promoted by Disney and you get to do something with Donald Duck or whatever, then are you going to use the app? Like, it's a great idea, but I think it would be better as a charity. I think it would be better to try and seek funding elsewhere. I mean, maybe just ask people to pay. I don't know. Maybe you can get. I don't know. Wanted to hear this guy talk though. So.
On Shark Tank, apparently you're watching Reach TV instead. Steve Baxter, probably the most, I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm assuming one of the most experienced investors of startups across the country. Here's a question, a double-loaded question for you as an investor. What sort of investors should these startups avoid?
Oh, the bad ones. Avoid the bad ones. So there's no end of bad actors in this space. So there's a lot of people out there who will do the wrong thing and buy a startup. So
what are the signs? How do you know that you're on the wrong track?
Look, I would suggest that startups network widely. Find good mentors, people who pay it forward. If you talk to someone who wants to mentor you and the first thing they do is talk about a charge or a bill, I'd probably run screaming. So you need to network widely, understand who's good, talk to people who've been on the journey, been successful, and say, well, who did you use? And so maybe get a recommendation. So, but in general, avoid the bad ones, and that comes with experience, unfortunately, so it's a bit tough. A lot of what we do at Riverseed Labs is we try and give the community antibodies against the bad actors. So we try and let people know the good behaviour, and so they can recognise the bad behaviour easily.
It's a dark trap. Obviously, you've had experience with pitchers in the past on stage doing this type of thing. What's the most common mistake they make when they're doing their pitch?
Oh, the common mistake, bloody hell! There's a lot of mistakes they make. Most common mistake. There's no one common mistake, I suppose. They've got 5 minutes, right? So like on Shark Tank, they get we spend between half hour and an hour and 20 with them. And tonight, these teams have got 5 minutes, so that's a tough environment. Shark Tank's easier in that respect. You get more time. The most common mistake is they don't get their message across. So you've got to. I call it the virtual throat punch. You've got to get out there and you've got to make us wake up and go, okay, you're the 4th out of 5 pitches, and all of a sudden now I'm awake.
There you go. A bit of a tip for you out there if you're starting a business as well. All the best on the judge. Straight to the throat. That's what you've got to look for. Yeah, figuratively, of course. Sitting over here now, thank you very much, Steve, with Australia Post's own General Manager of Small Business, Rebecca Burrows. Now, you've done this a couple of times. What have you learnt from being a judge on the panel so far?
Well, I'm always pretty taken with the story. So I need to keep a head around, it's not just the story and falling in love with the business, but how are they actually thinking through what they're going to do next. Yeah.
One of the big things is, okay, you're a startup. Technically, that means that you've been in business for, say, the first 2 years. You're doing MVPs, all sorts of things. But you have to become a sustainable business. Now, General Manager of Small Business, what sort of tips can you give them to keep sustainable for that magic 5-year period?
So I think there's a real piece there around that constant evolution. So I think when I'm working with small businesses...
So while I agree with the constant evolution thing, I don't think that's something that should... Anyway, I guess I have some issues with startup culture. There's some things around not, just leap, take a jump, go for it. Don't be afraid of things. So I think it's also important to plan for failure. What happens when you fail? How are you going to recover that? I mean, you don't want to put your whole life, your house, your mortgage on the line, taking out a bank loan. You need to prep and plan for everything very carefully. And I think one of those things is being prepared to change. Yes, you need to be prepared to change, but constant change for the sake of constant change. I don't know.
The innovation and everything. What are you most excited?
Right? I have not started any business ever, so you shouldn't listen to me. And besides which, there's only one person viewing this, which is me. Oh no, there's 2. Hello, second person watching this. Oh my goodness. Well, I should stop making a fool of myself anyway. So, yeah, I'm trying to think about who's going to win. Who's going to win? And I think it's going to be Sightseer. Now, I don't think they would. I think on the basis of their pitch that maybe they're not, but I'm not sure who else is there. I really like Bogout, and I would choose Bogout. But I think I've seen their product elsewhere. I'm not sure that they can patent it. I think the business is kind of done, up and running, and maybe the judges are going to feel like that business is pushed as far as it can. How does it expand further? Where's the energy and the life around it? You know, maybe there was something like that with the Wheelie Safe back in Tasmania. A great product, I think. But he was looking, I mean, Brian was looking to sell it. He wanted to, or get someone to buy large portions of it. He was kind of done. He had done his thing, and he had sold it for a couple of years, and he wanted to move on. And I suspect that's what Bogout is about. So I suspect then, on that basis, that they're not going to win. Maybe they'll get second. Maybe they'll get second. But first place, the vet diet thing, they've sold some, and they've got a few people, and they're looking for people to expand. Now, I wouldn't do it. You know, I have some cats. It's pretty easy to put my cats on a diet. I just make sure that, you know, they only eat the food that I give them. And that's basically it. But I'm very strict about it. Maybe there's an issue there about controlling that kind of food, but I don't quite see it. I mean, I would really like one to, I think, to win. Anyway, let's see what Rowan's got to say. Okay, well,
Adam Drummond here, and we are at the Queensland final of the Australia Post Regional Pitch Fest. I've got Charlotte Williamson with me. Dog Slim, I had a bit of an inkling that I knew what that was going to be about. It's keeping your dogs fit. You've just done your first rehearsal. How did you feel?
It was really fun, actually. I enjoyed it.
What were some of the things that you went, I wasn't expecting that, or did it all go smoothly?
The lights, they're really dazzling.
Yeah. It is hard if you haven't been on stage before,
I've spoken
isn't it?
to a lot of people.
If you were going to get some advice today from the judges, what would help you the most?
No problem with that. But
with my business or with pitching on stage?
No, with your business. If they were going to give you advice on marketing or scalability, what do you need the most assistance with?
Yeah, definitely for me, it comes down to marketing. So how to get that initial traction and getting our brand name out there. So I guess the thing I'm really looking for is partnership opportunities. So if there's anyone with links that could, you know, link in from pet industry, that'd be wonderful.
Well, we're going to give you an opportunity right now to see if there's any partners watching. You've got a 30-second elevator pitch to give. Did you know that was coming?
I had a feeling.
Okay, here it is. Are you ready? Go for it.
Okay, so obesity is no longer just a human disease, it's affecting our pets too. And there are now 49 million overweight dogs across the US, UK and Australia. An intervention is needed, and that's why dogslim.com is here. We provide online veterinary-led weight loss programs for dogs. So come visit dogslim.com and we'll help your dog feel like a puppy again.
And Charlotte is a veterinarian, so she would know. Well done, and I've seen your pitch. It was just amazing. All the best for tonight, Charlotte. And we will see you.
It'll be between her and Sightseer. I'm completely writing off the other two, right? I mean, the companies that don't have an income, I just don't think it'll work for winning, you know.
I thought it was going to be a device to help you eat quicker at a restaurant. Not at all. I've got Charlie and Paul Orban here, life partners as well as business partners. You've just done your first 5-minute pitch. How did it feel?
Not a problem at all.
Terrific. What do you think you're looking for in a judge? Is it to invest or just give you advice? What's the most important?
For them to choose us to win.
Absolutely. Yes. So we've got our eye on the $5,000 cold hard cash. If you got $5,000, Charlie, where do you reckon you'd spend it?
Oh, lots of places. Website, marketing, Facebook advertising. We could make a lot of money with that investment.
Absolutely. Is marketing the most challenging thing that you've got with your business at the moment, or is there any other element that you're needing a little bit of assistance with?
Marketing's the most challenging thing I've ever done. Inventing new products is easy. You know, getting cars out of bogs is easy, but marketing is definitely a challenge this day and age.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to give you a chance now to do your 30-second version of the 5-minute pitch you'll be doing later on. Are you ready? Is it going to be Charlie or is it going to be Paul? Paul, here you go.
Bog Out is a vehicle recovery device. It gets your car out of a bog. It's a simple device, invented in Cairns, and I've lost what I was going to say.
It's all you need. Basically, we get nervous when we get ourselves bogged. You've got the solution. Well, Paul and Charlie, all the best tonight. I know you're going to be wonderful. I've seen your pitch already. What a fantastic invention. It has got the potential to go global. Anything else you'd like to say to potential investors out there?
Come and see us. You've got our phone number, you've got our details on the screen. Give us a call.
We'll see you after this.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I do wonder about these guys. Where do they get their money to advertise themselves like this? I mean, I guess it's a Australia Post thing, but I don't know. Dog Slim, Sightseer, Bog Out. I mean, Bog Out can expand, right? You could start going into other products to do with four-wheel drives. I mean, surely. So they've got one thing going for them. That's good. Dog Slim, I suppose there's a bunch of things they can do because they're, I guess, you know, exercise, food. Maybe you can retrain dogs. I mean, maybe there's a lot more that I'm not seeing. What would Australia Post want to see? I think Australia Post would want to see something in the final that's a larger scale, something that's tech related, and something in particular that Australia Post isn't going to be competing against. So, no, I don't mean competing against. I mean something that Australia Post is going to. You know, Australia Post has partnered with other companies. They want to support something that is that fits with those other companies. You know, they've got their own relationships to protect, and they want to make sure that the companies that are in the final are things that are aligned with their reputations, so that they support the Australia Post business. But they're going to want something that's a bit techy, and it may be a bit larger. Maybe that's it, because this is already a regional company that's grown quite a bit. And, you know, based upon the previous finals, the winners were companies that were working already very well, had the potential for employees, or already had some employees, certainly companies that had money or had investment already around them. So with that kind of in mind, I'm going to pick Sightseer for first place, and I will pick... Well, okay, I want Bog Out to be second, so I'll pick Bog Out to be second, I guess. Yeah. Nope. Somehow I've turned off the audio capture. Great. Nice one, Ben. Ugh. Hold on.
Would be great. Here you go, 30 seconds starting now.
Thank you. So I'm from Cherry Gift, and what we do is we...
That's awesome. Okay. I will help you out. Cherry Gift is awesome. If you're a man and you forget all about your wife's birthday or anniversary or anything like that, have I got you back on track?
Thank you.
Go for it.
So what we do is we have suppliers that are registered with us, and customers can go onto our website, buy a gift voucher, and it gets sent instantly via SMS to their smartphone. The best bit is they can even schedule them up to 12 months in advance.
We won't be needing that. We'll need 12 seconds. It's the most instant way to get your gift out to you, gift voucher out to the person that you love. Thank you so much. All the best for tonight, and we'll see you after this.
My big idea is to have a game of football played on quad bikes.
My idea is to have a head with boosters on it to make it go faster. In the future, I think we should have a suit that gives you, so it's not really cold in the dams and the water.
Mania Allen.
Is it like an enterprise photographer?
I think they are opportunities are an animal. People who make stuff. A special person. captain of a business. Got no idea about that one. Like somebody that starts up a business. When you start up a new business, I think it is like you're doing an exercise and before it you train.
Like an electrical battery that would start up a machine or something.
Oh, I know a startup. It starts up the headers or the tractors or a car or a ute or something. I want to be a famous footy player. I want to be, when I grow up, a teacher. A farmer. A horse listener.
I like horse listening. I think it's pretty cool.
Probably a farmer. Welcome to Regional Pitch Fest!
Adam Drummond here, and we are in Toowoomba for the Australia Post Regional Pitch Fest Queensland final. And I know that there are a lot of parents out there that are feeling guilty about just handing a device over to their children to distract them. Anne-Marie Walton is about to change all of that and save families right across the globe. Welcome, Anne-Marie. You've just done your 5-minute pitch. You're going to be in front of judges. What do you think you need the most advice on as a business owner?
Well, for me, I'm wanting mentorship and introductions to corporations who can help me get my app out to more families across the globe.
What's your biggest challenge at the moment? Because I know you've done an MVP, minimum viable product. What's your biggest challenge as a business owner at the moment?
Understanding that I'm a non-tech, so I need to make sure that I've got good partnerships and people guiding me, so I'm producing the best product to produce the best outcome for my future customers.
Sometimes it's about surrounding yourself with all the right people. I'm going to give you an opportunity now, down the barrel of the camera, to give your 30-second elevator pitch. Are you ready? Anne-Marie Walton, go for it.
We all know someone who's struggling with the pressures of being a parent, trying to balance work and family commitments, and also finding quality time with their kids. But what Want2 does is provide hundreds of ideas for fun, learning-inspired activities to do with 2 to 8-year-olds. And we've actually got almost 1,000 people who have downloaded our free app and are using it already. They're building their kids' communication skills and providing alternatives to screen time along the way. So please, go to kidswant2.com and give it a go.
Well done. 1001, because I've already downloaded the app and I can't wait to use it on my kids. We are going to see you after this. All the best, Anne-Marie.
Thank you.
See you after this.
Thanks.
Yeah.
The Australia Post Regional Pitch Fest Queensland final is being held in Toowoomba. I'm Adam Drummond, and joining me right now is David Crane, probably the most technical, I would say, of the pitches tonight, certainly the most complex. Mate, you better fill everyone in. What's your background?
Background's in mobile network design for Telstra and Ericsson here in Australia.
Yes, I also don't know what that means. So get down into the nitty-gritty. What exactly have you done? Because in your pitch I saw massive towers, there's all sorts of satellite dishes and things hanging off them. What is it that you used to do?
Sure, so it used to be my job to design mobile phone towers, what was on them and where they'd go. So that was often a really big problem for us because we had out-of-date information. And it was reliant on people climbing the towers and visiting these remote sites. So now what we do is we digitize these towers by partnering with drone companies. And then we've got a digital double of that tower, which we then go ahead and do an analysis of to determine what's on the tower and what the state of the tower is in.
So this is where SiteC was born. But, mate, you've got 30 seconds to give your elevator pitch direct down the barrel of the camera. Are you ready?
Yes.
Go for it.
SiteC is a cell tower visualization and analytics service for the telecommunication industry. We partner with drone providers to capture 3D data of cell towers. SiteC then analyzes these towers to catalogue both all the equipment and the corrosion on this structure to give the tower owner and the telco all the information they need.
Wow. Mate, it sounds like you're solving a pretty big problem that's out there. If you're going to get one piece of advice from the judges tonight, what would you hope it'd be?
Access to decision makers in the industry.
Absolutely. It's about surrounding yourself with all the right people. Good luck tonight with your actual pitch. I'm Adam Drummond. See you after this.
I don't know. Maybe they are too. Maybe they are too mature. Maybe they are. If they are too mature, then what I think it'll probably be Dog Slim and Bog Out. Dog Slim and Bog Out. If they don't sightsee, I think, yeah.
Adam Drummond here, and we are at the Queensland final of the Australia Post Regional Pitch Fest. And if you're watching this, it means that we're about to be introduced to the judges, as we've been doing on our national tour. I'm going to squeeze in here next to our first judge, Fleur Anderson. You have never been living in a population that's got more than 10,000 people, and you've started 4 businesses in the last 10 years in a population of only 500. What are you looking for tonight as a judge from these startups?
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with regards to them. Yeah, so this guy is from River City Labs, which I hadn't heard before. River City Labs. So they look like a Mura-D thing. So, or at least the accelerator associated with River City Labs looks like a Mura-D thing. So Mura-D is this startup fund that's kind of funded by Telstra, and they seem to have done fairly well for themselves. I guess they've got a bit of a name. They send people out all over the country. They have competitions every 6 months to a year or something like that. Yeah. I guess this River City Labs is Brisbane. Yeah. One annoying thing about their website is they're using JavaScript to control the scroll bar a little bit, which means it accelerates when you move on the mouse, which means that on Macs it doesn't behave nicely, so that's not great. Yeah, so being Mura-D, that's all good, but it's that means definitely it's a Telstra-y kind of thing. I mean, there's a lot of these sorts of things that were accelerators and startups and sort of thing, startup accelerator incubators. I would like to know. I suppose, I come from a maths background, and I like everything to be just so. I need to know the definition of everything. I need to know why it's named this and what it's about, and I need things to be clearly stated. And none of this stuff in the startup world, this kind of area of the startup world is clearly stated, and I find that a bit frustrating. I must admit. Where do these guys get their money from? Why are they doing it? For example, so Mura-D is running an accelerator. They have a program for companies, and they're getting investment. And I suppose what Telstra is doing is they must see it as putting on my cynical hat, they must do it because they see an opportunity for them to have a lot of new companies through the door, and when they see one they really like, to put some money on it, I guess. I mean, these companies aren't doing this for the benefits of everybody else. They're doing it for themselves. And that's all I can really see through it, is that this is designed, these things are designed for Telstra to be able to get some money into some companies. Yeah. At least that's what I assume. The problem is it all costs money. Most of these places have office space, right? So you have to pay, and paying for office spaces is surprisingly expensive. So it just seems like if you could work outside, I don't know. Maybe there's good reasons. Maybe the money is better, but I don't have the sort of money to pay for a desk somewhere. Yeah. Well, I mean, Cliff and I found that the Pitch Fest has been very good to us in the sense that we met some people who was good to talk to, who leads to test the product, and we got an offer of, well, anyway, people to talk to basically, which is good. It did take a lot of effort. And we may have gotten those contacts elsewhere. No, maybe not. Maybe we really needed it. It's difficult to judge. Hindsight is very difficult. Yeah.
Massive, my friend. What have you learned from the last couple of times judging? What are you looking for tonight?
Well, I've learned that the rumour on the street is that apparently the Queensland cohort runs the deepest, so I'm looking forward to see what they have. I think what we've seen is that a lot of entrepreneurs out there over the last few weeks who've come out, they've pitched relatively well, but answering the questions, sometimes they take too long to answer the questions, so short and sharp is something that we all would love as judges.
To the point, Steve Baxter just said that as well. They've only got 5 minutes, so they've got to get it out there. Rowan, welcome back, my friend. We know that you're in the middle of the intermission, so check out all of this on demand at reach.tv. Thank you once again.
Well, anyway, so I can't keep, my one viewer entertained the whole time. I mean, that's me, right? So if you're watching this at some other point in time, wow, this is the voice of Ben Whale, some guy you've never heard of. Yeah. So I'm thinking I'll stop streaming until we come back. Yeah.